Hello, so the title today is Are Monks Holy Men? I suppose I'm relating monks here to Christian ideas of priests, particularly Roman Catholic ideas maybe, where priests have a particular power and they can forgive sins of the faithful, and they have specific abilities to mediate between higher the higher realms and ordinary people. So are monks like that? On the surface, not really. So monks are people who have decided to give themselves the best possible chance to make progress on the spiritual path, and in order to do that have more or less renounced the world. They've renounced the use of money, they've renounced home, they've renounced the people they knew, they've joined the community to work on meditation and to improve their chances of reaching enlightenment. This is what a monk has done. As someone said, the job of a monk is meditation. And for the rest of the time, the Buddhist monk, the Buddhist monk is very similar to the Christian monk. Probably they do a job, they do some work, and they have particular responsibilities, and they look after the place. So I think we also, having said that, we need to look at the role of monks in non-Buddhist countries and the role of monks in Buddhist countries. So in Buddhist countries, yes, monks do seem to have the status of a higher religious class, and it's not dissimilar to how it is in Christianity with priests, especially Roman Catholic Christianity. So the ordinary people in a Buddhist country usually tend to think that the monks are very special, and they will give dana to the monks, and they expect the anumodana. They expect to receive the blessing for their generosity from the priests, and I would say they have a belief that there's something in the words that the monks chant at this time that actually bestows a blessing on them, rather than thinking that it's their own generosity that has created merit. There is the idea, I think, that the words of the monk, that the Pali form of the chant in itself conveys some kind of blessing to the people who brought the gifts. They would not be happy, we can say, if the anumodana was not chanted in the right way, or chanted at all. So there is a belief probably in the holiness of the monk in Buddhist countries. Also, the monk comes to chant on all special life occasions, such as birth and death and weddings, special occasions. And it's not the same if you don't get the monk to give the particular funerals. It's not the same if you don't get the monk to chant the appropriate Pali formula at that time. So all this is very, very similar to a Christian priest, I would think. However, If you ask the monks themselves, I think that most of them would say they are simply chanting the appropriate Pali phrases. They don't necessarily believe that the words that they're chanting are in themselves conveying merit to the people who give, or whatever, at a funeral or at a wedding. It's just the appropriate thing to do at that time. The argument would be that it's the generosity of the people themselves that is giving them the blessing. And yeah, one hopes for auspiciousness at a wedding or a birth, and the right words may be chanted, the right formula may be said, but it's not in itself probably considered to be something that magically conveys blessings. It's simply a sign of the fact that the family involved is a religious family, is an upright family, a good family, who is going to give the child, if it's a birth, a good Buddhist upbringing, or if it's a marriage, two people who are believers, who are going to do their best to live in a Buddhist way, hopefully keep the precepts. It's just the appropriate thing to do. There's no idea of giving a blessing, or a blessing being in the words themselves. But as I say, in Buddhist countries, it is often thought that is the case, that the words that are said do in themselves convey a blessing. So this is less the case in those countries where we have Buddhist monks in monasteries where Buddhism is not the main religion. Here monks are considered much more just people trying to give themselves the best chance possible of making progress in meditation. Having said all that, there is the Arya Sangha, that is the people who have seen Nibbana. So effectively, the Sotapannas, Sakadagamis, Anagamis, and Arahants, the people who, to a greater or lesser extent, you can say are enlightened or have seen Nibbana. This is the Arya or noble Sangha, and ordinary people don't necessarily know who they are, and nobody does. Well, some people do, but most people who hear monks chanting will not know who is an Arahant, for example, or who has seen Nibbana. So these people who have seen Nibbana, obviously have special status, and anyone who even is able to attain deep samadhi, it is said, may achieve certain powers. So the Arya Sangha is different to the rest of the Sangha. As a monk I respect once said, most monks clearly are not part of the Arya Sangha. They're just ordinary people trying to give themselves the best chance to progress on the path. But the belief in an Arya Sangha does create a special group of monks who may have special powers, who may be ready to show those powers in certain circumstances, who in any case are worthy of profound respect as exemplars of people who have walked the path and seen Nibbana. So ordinary people cannot be expected to know exactly who is part of the Arya Sangha and who isn't, so it's right and proper that they should just give respect to all the monks. So that's how it is, really. It's not a very clear thing where all monks are regarded in exactly the same way. It depends on place, it depends on attainment, it depends on all sorts of things. But we can say that in general, monks are definitely considered to be special, very special people in Buddhist countries who have certain abilities that can help the people